Aura Minerals is a mid-tier gold and copper producer with a focus on operating and development in the Americas. Aura trades on the TSX under the ticker ORA. And joining us now for the latest highlights for the company, we have the CEO, Rodrigo Barbosa. Rodrigo, great to see you today.
Thank you very much, Mark, and good to see you again.
Let's start with and kick off with a very impressive achievement by the company. Once again, you're given the TSX Top 30 Growth Award. Last year you were number one. This year you're number one again. So what does that mean for the company, and what's the significance and also the value that you think it brings in the marketplace?
Yeah, we're very proud to be the second time number one at TSX. It's been a very long journey. We're still working to move ahead and develop the projects. But I believe there's two major messages that I can share with you. Number one is we can grow, we can deliver results, we can pay dividends and keep our balance sheet very stable. And the second one is we can navigate under very different and challenging circumstances, such as the pandemic, high inflation, and now with the world with the scarcity of capital. So our team is capable of delivering results, grow, while we continue to develop our Aura 360 and the ESG agenda.
It is very impressive for sure, as you said, during these difficult times the last couple of years. Now, some other good news for the company. You got final regulatory approval in Australia to buy the Big River Gold Project along with your partner Dundee Resources. So this gives you the Borborema Gold Project. And I'm just wondering, you say that you're proud about this and that it increases your measured and indicated resources by about 40%. So tell us about the significance of this, and would you call this a transformational deal?
It's a very important deal that not only will add for us this 40% in terms of measured indicated resources, but also pave the way for us to become a major player. We know very much without the Borborema how to get the 400,000 ounces with the construction of Almas and Matupá. Now with Borborema, we can reach over 400,000 ounces, and then we want to be between 600 to 1 million ounces because the multiples price per NAV of those companies that are between 500,000 to 1 million are significantly higher, 50, 80% higher to compare to where we are right now.
So give us a timeline for Borborema in terms of feasibility, construction, production. What are we looking at there?
We should be revising all the documents, translating the JORC to 43101 until the end of the year or early next year. And then we'll be releasing the market if there are any kind of changes, optimizations, and updates. We want to start the construction of Borborema during the first semester next year. But that will depend on how we evolve on the studies, on the engineering, and also compare with how we were going to play with Matupá, because Matupá is planned also to start construction early next year. But we will have at least 3 to 6 month difference between them.
So this now gives you 5 projects in Brazil. You mentioned Matupá, you're developing Almas, São Francisco, you've got Borborema now, and EPP has been producing for, I think, about 6 years now or so. So we know that Brazil is a mining-friendly jurisdiction, but based on your experience and your insight and sort of boots on the ground knowledge, why and how is it so advantageous and attractive to be an operator there?
We are a Latin America player. Perhaps in the next years, maybe North America as well. We feel very comfortable with democracy in Latin America. And as being Brazilian, we feel very comfortable also in Brazil. But I would highlight, though, that Brazil, comparably to other countries in Latin America, it's significantly evolved in terms of jurisdiction. So the country created a national mining agency, independent from the government, a regulatory agency in the last 5 years. It's passing laws to make it more clear how to get to debt in finance, giving guarantees your mining rights. And there are many other digitalization, transparency that's going in the country, which make us very comfortable to invest.
Let's get some updates from you, Rodrigo. We've sort of hinted at Matupá. So are we right in saying that you're on track to bring out a feasibility study sometime soon, construction in 23, production in 2024?
Yes, we were projecting to deliver a new feasibility or pre-feasibility study of Matupá by the end of August. We delayed a couple of weeks due to the closing of Borborema, but we should be releasing a new 43101 on Matupá very soon. And we plan to start construction also during next year, so they enter into production by 2024.
And just a brief overview as to how Matupá is going to impact your growth and your production profile.
Matupá, as we released by the end of last year, should produce close to 60,000 ounces of per year, full of potential to significantly expand down the road. We continue to do geological investments, reminding the investors that, number one, we decided to build Matupá as fast as we can with only 340,000 ounces of resources. And as the payback of those projects has been less than 2 years, we didn't need to wait more resources to build the project. But in the meanwhile, we are developing geology. So since we started analyzing the new geology of Matupá, which the campaign was beginning this year, we already hit 80 meters at 3.80 grams per ton, additional 50 meters of 3.14 grams per ton. So that shows the potential of Matupá not only to provide the returns that we are already released to the market, but to significantly improve as we move forward and can prove more resources and reserves.
And then Almas, at last report, and you can update this number if you like, it is something like 54% complete, and you're on track for production in Q2 of next year?
Yes, we are actually now more than 54%. This was when they released a couple
Right,
of months ago.
that was in August, I think. Yeah.
Exactly. But we are on time, on track, on budget to start this project by April, which is unique under these high inflationary pressures. The team has been able to offset and to cut some costs in order for us to maintain the budget and maintain the same schedule.
Now, our Red Cloud analyst on Aura Minerals, Taylor Combaluzier, he believes that your production is back-end loaded this year. Do you agree with that? And if so, what are the main factors driving that?
Yes, as we released to the market the guidance for the year, you can see that the second semester, particularly more that the back end is going to be more loaded, either because of higher grades that's coming in EPP mines and higher recoveries and the grades also coming from Honduras.
Now, just shifting gears to the dividend that Aura pays, there are a handful of precious metals companies, as you know, that do pay dividends, but they're not really that many. Last year, I know your yield was very high compared to other companies. Why do you pay a dividend? Why is that important for you in terms of how the shareholders receive that?
Last year, we paid the 13.5% as a dividend yield, which is one of the highest in the industry, besides growing 30% and developing the project that we are right now. So we have a very strong cash generation come from our operations that together with projects that has a very short payback, less than 2 years for Almas, same should be for Matupá, and we will know how it's going to be for Borborema, that we continue to produce cash flows while we build the project. So in the end of the day, we felt that we had excess of cash last year. And the way we feel is that we are not managers of cash. We are managers of mining companies, operating and projects. So any excess of cash we would like to distribute to investors because we believe they are the ones that should decide where to invest that cash and not us.
Right, and you aim for about 20% of EBITDA to pay out to shareholders.
Yes,
right.
As we can see that we can develop the projects and still produce a lot significant cash flows. We have a dividend policy, which is 20% minus recurring capex, not including the greenfield projects, and the recurring also geology. And we plan to maintain this while developing the projects. And if we feel we have excess of cash, then we might pay more.
And lastly, Rodrigo, a couple of personal questions. I found your background very interesting in terms of your education and your career. So you're a mechanical engineer, you got an MBA from USC, you used to run a denim company as part of a conglomerate, you've worked at Potash, you were an investment banker. So you're a miner, of course, CEO of a mining company or minerals, but do you consider yourself more of an operator, deal maker?
Oh, I was very fortunate to have a very diverse background in my career, working in many different industries and different positions. I believe that CEOs should have a very keen and focus towards people development, capital allocation, and making sure the operations are being run well, but making sure that you have the very high talented technical team that is capable of running those mines without a significant dependency on corporate. So we decentralized a lot of the decision-making process into our mines. That is creating a lot of innovation and people being able to fight against inflation and do with the pandemic, while corporate is focused on capital allocation and people development.
So you touched on it there, but maybe give us some more flavor on how your experience has influenced the way you lead Aura Minerals and how you run it.
It has significant influence because I learned working in many different industries what is very important for you to have a very efficient company. And I learned also that whoever makes it very efficient at the operations is the managers at the operations. So we transferred a lot of operational decisions into the operations, giving them more autonomy, aligned and interested, making sure that those decisions are made under a very strong ethical values in all the ESG agenda. But they have a lot of autonomy to focus on cash flows and make the production in the most efficient way. And I believe this is one of the factors of success of Aura, that we've been able to offset inflation, build almost on time, on budget, and while we continue to maintain low costs at the running operations.
Well, thanks for coming in today. Good luck with everything, Rodrigo, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Okay, Rodrigo Barbosa, CEO of Aura Minerals. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.